9:31. Call the meeting to order. It's the March 11th, excuse me, Council on Aging Board meeting. Excuse me. And for all members, I remind you that we are being recorded, and it will be on air in a few days. So be mindful of what you say.
I can never find it on air.
Don't say that.
Channel 34, I guess. But I never see us on it.
I will, Michael Halen, the Raynham Channel, I will get a schedule to Liz that she can send to everyone, but if you can't find it on the air, Channel 98 Comcast 34 Verizon, it's also on YouTube about a week after.
Okay.
So
We're on YouTube.
I see us scheduled for 4 a.m.
that's the best viewing time for.
I'm saying this is crazy.
It rotates. The schedule rotates every day, but I will get Liz's schedule so she can let everyone know.
Okay. Let's see.
Pat Rank is out,
Bollinger. B-O-W-E-N.
and Pat Rank is out, and Sue Burns is out.
Oh, Sue is too.
Yeah, she's in,
That's in Florida.
yeah.
All right, taking the roll call.
Okay. Yep. I got the
All right.
roll call going.
Let's get to the Secretary's report.
Okay, I
Minutes
think,
here.
I think the first issue is that I've got a February 11th date of the last. This
And
is March, wasn't it?
Fourth?
No, you just postponed it last month.
yeah, pretty sure we did.
So it was the 11th?
It was the.
Yeah,
Was it?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the 11th, you're right.
Wow, look at that, after all that.
All right, let's give everybody a few minutes. Excuse me?
Itchy, no, he looks so itchy.
Just to say that for money. More than that.
Okay. Everybody all set?
Motion.
I have a motion to accept the treasurer's, the secretary's report. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. It is unanimous. Treasurer's report. Speak to us in dollars.
Speak to you in dollars. The total for February, you have a copy of this, 38,716. Our balance is 19,345.42. The only different, it's the usual charges except for the $683.71 to fix the heating system. We had a switch and a wire go out on it. It's under Boulette. We had a wire go out on it, and that had to be changed. Donation and remembrance stayed the same, and everything else is pretty much as usual.
Okay, and what's this on the
And that
financial sheet?
second sheet, I think I gave it to you already, but I'm not sure. It's the budget.
FY20?
David hasn't said anything negative about it, so this is probably what we're going to be going with. This is the budget that will likely appear before the town in May. And as you see, we're only increasing by 1.52%, and that's in total because of changes to contracts. That's taxes going up. Because of the contracts, we're keeping the two accounts, the expense is the same, we're just moving money around into different accounts that are used more often, like other property-related services, but we're keeping it the same as last year. They asked us not to have anything beyond a 2% increase, and we're not. Last year, we had a 3.5% increase because we added some money into accounts where we were spending more money, such as, heating and also repairs to the building, and a couple of things, so.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll move to accept the treasurer's report.
And a second? Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We'll wait till Peggy gets here for the outreach report. Yeah, you? 1:30. I wish I knew.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Doing it for Don, he said they told him to be at 1:20.
Well, 1:30 is the reading, you gotta be there 15 minutes early.
Oh.
So.
You guys reading
Someone
this?
from the
Yeah,
depths.
Monthly got cancer from the
Oh.
The deputies.
I did
Those
read
kids
that.
get lost.
It's gonna be right on you.
Oh, it can't?
No, it's an open
It's
meeting.
an open meeting, or,
Oh, yeah, we have to keep it open. Sorry.
It's all right.
all right, guys, here it comes.
Peggy, do you know our new members?
Hi. I'm forgetting your first name.
Cheryl.
Carol.
Carol. Donna. Right.
So you read it?
All right, I think I have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Got a
7,
full
8.
house here today.
What grade are you doing?
So it'll be what?
I'll just put these out for later. Talk about this.
Thank you.
It's 3, 4, 5.
What are the older kids?
This is school.
Somebody changed that.
Six, 7, 8.
You got one?
I got one, yeah.
Everybody got one?
Need more down there? Pass them down?
That's an extra one. I got an extra next.
Oh, by the way, apropos of nothing,
Yeah.
the Salvation Army store closed on 44.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until I saw the
Oh.
Raynham residence page yesterday.
I don't know why, I don't know if there's car lighters taking it
No, you know what
over. I
it
haven't
was?
heard anything in terms
Landlord.
of, huh?
Landlord was
Oh,
gonna
the rent?
up their rent.
Yeah, that's why they.
So supposedly they're gonna go over where
I
the
can't
old
drive anymore, and
CVS
Jerry's not
was
well,
on County
because he's
Street.
not driving much.
It's tough.
You know, I heard that.
A lot of reading.
Said that.
Holiday over the County. My daughter brought me
We
that
got
today,
Right.
because she's at the doctor's.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to business.
All right,
Okay, go ahead.
total contacts for the month were 40. You can see the list of how I did it: Shine, case management, fuel assistance, client funding. These are the statistics they want in the state, so this is how I keep them. I keep them as contacts. Some of them are direct visits, some of them are on the phone. If it's a lengthy phone call and with, counseling and stuff, I usually put it down as a contact. On the February 4th, I met with Tim Veglas from the Salvation Army. There's a thing after fuel assistance, there's something called Good Neighbor policy from the Salvation Army. It's for people who are over income for fuel assistance, and yet you can tell by your interview that they really do need fuel assistance, because they've lost their job and they have a big, mortgage to pay, and they have kids, or they're cold, or so the Salvation Army makes a little bit of a distinction for people over income, which is good, because I see people over income sometimes who really need it. I went to the Shine meeting in Seccong. We have it every month. And the board meeting. President's Day was a holiday. And then on the 20th, I went to a SNAP training. Well, you people probably know what SNAP is. SNAP is short for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's food stamps is what it is. I thought you might be interested in a little bit of information about that. It's administered through the Department of Transitional Assistance, DTA, which was formerly just called, Medicaid. DTA is now Medicaid, and it's Department of Transitional Assistance. So instead of going down to Mass Health or Medicaid, which are the same thing, Mass Health and Medicaid, you go down to DTA to see if you can get benefits.
So that's an umbrella for all of them now?
Yeah, DTA. It's been for quite a while. Now, SNAP eligible persons can get an EBT card. It means electronic benefit transfer. And what it is, it looks exactly like a credit card, and you use it like a credit card. But it has a lot more things to it. As I went to this meeting, I discovered there are a lot more parts to this than I had thought. That this SNAP benefit also includes employment assistance. In fact, they insist that anyone who gets food stamps goes for employment training, unless, of course, if you're, 85 years old or something, reasonable. So they assist you with employment, they help you to find a job if you're young, and they address domestic violence, which I never knew, which is excellent. And of course, there's food assistance. Then the DTA programs, they're more than just SNAP. SNAP being the food. There's TAFDC, Transitional Assistance for Families with Dependent Children. I can't talk today. ESP, Employment Services Program. EAEDC, Emergency Assistance for Elderly, Disabled, and Children. SSP, State Supplement Program. So there's all kinds of things under the umbrella of the DTA, one of which is SNAP. An average household for SNAP would get, an average household, $215.16 a month for food.
215?
$215.16, an average family eligible. So they just take, some people get $20 and some get $300. So, yeah, some get $300 or $400. So, depends. They averaged it out. And then the TAFDC, the average is $448. That's the families with children. And the EAEODC, they get about $308. You can go online and apply. And then I was surprised to find that students that are in college are eligible for food stamps. If they don't have the program which they buy, to buy the food at the college, if they have the program, they're not eligible. But now there's something called food insecurity in college. It's kids that can't afford college, that are out straight, that haven't got the program, and they really haven't got enough to eat. And my grandson buys the program, and he said, "Graham, all you get is 2 meals a day." Now he's 6'6", and strapping guy, and he's hungry all the time. I said, "Gee, honey, we'll have to send you money." But so that's also for them. When you make out the application, I discovered that medical deductions are extremely important. They count them a lot. So if you've been in the hospital, even if you paid the bill, this goes heavily toward your food stamps. So what's happening now, since I took this training, I used to just refer people for food stamps. But now I'm going to be able to do them, and I have the application, and just taking on another thing, but that's okay. It's something that, I wouldn't say a large percentage of Raynham people need it, but at the same time, there are those that do.
When you speak to someone about food stamps and so forth, do you also direct them to, or make them aware of the food basket?
Of course, that's the last thing I think I wrote on my thing here. Of course, I refer them, yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't
Of
want to
course
get ahead of you. I didn't read ahead.
that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yes, I absolutely do.
I just gave Liz a new, thank you,
Oh,
a
good.
new phone number and
Okay.
email address for the food.
Okay.
We have our own phone now, as opposed to going to Debbie's house.
And I'll give you this information also, it's gonna appear in the newsletter.
Oh, great.
We post it out front.
Great.
And be on our webpage too.
You bet. So that's pretty much what I was going to talk about. Before this, I usually, I just referred people to something called Project Bread, and they would take a few facts from people, and they would say, "Oh, you're probably eligible for $50 a month," but this way I can really do it in depth, and it's not any harder than any other application that I do. So I usually I find people through fuel assistance, through when they come in for insurance guidance and all that. I find people that are eligible. That was pretty much it, and of course I do refer them through food pantry.
Sorry about that.
And you don't have to have income verification for that. You just have to live in town, which is
whatsoever.
wonderful.
There are guidelines, but we don't check to see if they meet the guidelines.
Yeah, I know.
If they say they need food, we give them food.
A lot of people don't wanna go, they're embarrassed themselves. This is
Yeah, we have
ridiculous.
some of
You, I always tell people, you've paid into this system all your life, most of them, they're elderly, you know, and go down and get this, you've already paid for it.
All right, I'll get it for you.
Motion to
So,
accept the ethics report?
these are the income, in case you're interested in income guidelines for, I just put 2 copies for families of different amounts, this income guidelines for fuels, for food stamps.
Jim made the motion.
No, hang on. I jumped on it, please.
Oh, I'm
I didn't know, you
That's
are
okay, I'm
done.
done, yeah,
Okay.
sure, you bet.
Motion to accept the outreach report.
I'll
Second it.
I'll second it. Grace?
Yep, no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Peg.
Peggy. Oh, he should change that.
Have these guidelines changed much in the last, have the guidelines changed much in the last?
I don't know, because I mostly referred people to, I didn't really know before what they were.
I'm sorry, I skipped you.
They change every year, the federal poverty guidelines change every
Yeah.
year. I found these online, this doesn't have anything to do with food stamps, but it happens to show 200%.
I'm sure they change based on inflation, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're homeless and you come into the country and you have nowhere to go and you're living in your car, you can get them instantly, food stamps. Now, I forgot to mention, you know, the farmer's market coupon is also
Right.
connected to that. And farmer's market coupons, you can add to your EBT card. Every time you buy there, you can add money to your food stamp card.
Really?
It's wonderful, because they want you to eat fruits and vegetables, you know. So. Forgot to eat. Okay, now I'm done.
All right, director's report.
Okay, going way back, we had no damage from the severe winds on February 25th, although 2 of the light poles were swaying alarmingly. Yvonne and I were watching them and we thought they were gonna go. The power went out and we were close to completing tax appointments, so we lost the internet. I have a battery pack backup I use for my phone and passed it on to Jennifer Bigelow in there, who connected it to her cell phone, connected with a hotspot, and got all 3 computers on, and the printer attached to the internet, and after that, they were able to finish the taxes and their appointments, so everybody was delayed for about 15-20 minutes, but they were able to complete everybody's taxes and file them. So that was we
Great.
thank Jennifer for that, that was a really interesting day. Read Across America, Jeff, John, Jim and I were readers at the local school, and I guess Jim and John are gonna be reading again today. But we'd like you to remember in May we have Cast Week, so we'll need people to do that as well. The week features local residents talking about their lives or their interests, like John in his car, or Don McKinnon about the ice wagon growing up. You know, Don's been using the same ice wagon story for, you know, as long as Ray's been around.
I've been using the same car.
Well,
for
that's
10
true.
years.
Board and colony photos. I put this out on Facebook this week. John's trying to find photos, again, trying to find photos of board and colony we can frame and put in the outside lobby. No one has been able to find photos, including the Old Colony Historical Society and several Raynham residents and Mike Gay at the Gazette. He couldn't find any in their archives.
Now, if I may, I'm surprised because Dave Donahue, and I'm trying to think of I think Jeff Kelleher and Maggie Smith,
Maggie Silva.
Silver
They've
out
been
there.
on- Yeah.
They've been loading the internet
Well,
with
they
pictures.
answered me
Uh-huh.
about this, and Dave Donahue said he's never seen any. And Maggie had a picture of one of the old administration buildings, you know, probably just before they knocked it down. It was really in
Yeah, it was one
disrepair.
that was right there.
So, but nobody has any of when it was actually working.
Wow.
And you think the state would? I tried the state archives.
Nothing, huh?
Nothing. It's
So bad.
amazing to me. I mean, I thought this was gonna be simple, but it's nobody seems to have any, but.
But they've had a lot of
they're still
photos
looking.
of other places in town, like
Yeah.
the Stone Church and a number of buildings in town. They're
Yeah.
very interesting.
And Broadway, you know, with all
Yeah.
the
Wasn't
trees
that
lining
something?
Broadway, my God.
God, I wish it was like that again.
You know, the funny thing, and I remember they put a picture of Costa's farm
Mm.
with old man Costa there selling his corn, and I remember that from when I was a kid, and it was a sepia tinted photo. I was very alarmed. Water filtration system installation, as Cheryl will tell you, because, you know, I introduced her And did I introduce you, Carol?
Yes.
To it the other day, they were so excited. We're trying out a water system from Eastern Pure Water. It's installed in the card room. The line is fed from the tap to a filtration system, and the hope is this will eliminate the use of the bottled water, which is problematic because often the cooler is empty for days because someone can't lift the bottles to fill it. And the evidence that coolers of this type, the type that's in the other room, are unsanitary, which is acknowledged by the bottle company, who is now offering to clean and disinfect the coolers for a fee. They gather bacteria in the base where you put the bottle in, which Carol and I were talking about the other day. This is a free trial we're doing. The cost is about $20 more a month for the purification unit, which we'll rent as we do the bottle unit. Maintenance of the unit is built into the contract. Actually, the water, Peggy and I did, we were the guinea pigs last week. We tried the water out. It's really excellent.
The hot
It's
water will
also-
burn your mouth.
It's also got a hot water button where they can make coffee or tea in there.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna try it and see
So
what
it-
happens.
it's $20 more than what we're paying now for the.
Yes. But it's
And will they come and change the filters?
Yes, they
But we will
maintain
pay
it.
for the filters?
Yeah, no, they do, it's under the contract.
It's under the contract.
Everything's maintained.
So they come and clean it on a
Yeah.
regular basis,
Yeah.
change the filters?
And it's just, the reason why it's in there, in the card room, not in the other room, was because they said, oh, we'll string a line from the water system. I said, no, we're not stringing lines through the ceiling for the water. So that's why it's in there, it's just going right under the sink into the unit. Project 351 box, we're helping Julia Minton collect new or gently used clothes for children, infants to 12 years as part of the statewide 351 project. The box for the Cradles to Crayons program is located in the front lobby, and we do have some donations that I saw in there this morning. We're going to be accepting items until April 1st, and there are other places in town that are collecting, including the library, the town hall, and the middle school. We also have a collection box from the town census in the lobby.
Did everyone get a town census?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
I was gonna say, because there was a problem. I went to, Marcia, and I said, because I saw the boxes, I said, have you sent them all out? She said, yeah, we did. She said, you didn't get yours? No. She said, I've had a number of people call me that didn't get one,
Mail,
which, huh?
a mail,
What do you mean?
the mail in Raynham is
Yeah,
awful.
well,
It isn't good.
I assume that's the reason, but,
When did they go out?
oh, it's gotta be almost a month ago
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And I waited figuring, well, maybe they did it in two lumps, with this, every mailbox thing. But, I never, she had me do one right there in the office, so if I would stop at town hall and do one. And what disturbs me about that, it disturbs me about that is we don't get a good census, and that census is the basis for reports that we give to the state that determine what we get for liquor licenses and stuff like that. So it's disturbing that everybody didn't get it.
How was it over at Pine Hill? Was it okay?
I haven't heard anything.
Is the mail good?
Well, if you know anyone who didn't get one, tell them to go to town hall and Marshall will print one up right there for you, and you can
It's not
sign it.
online, it's not
Huh?
online.
Not that I'm aware of, but you
Can
can
they
certainly
tell if
push
you
it.
sent one in?
Huh?
No, if you,
I don't know.
I don't remember. It doesn't ring a bell, so.
Would have been a blue envelope,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would have been something with a blue envelope, a
Mine
return
that
envelope,
had gone out.
about a month ago.
A while ago.
Well, she
Because I
said
had
she got a
that
number
box
of phone
from-
calls.
in that lobby.
She doesn't know what happened. I guess there's a company who does that for the
I don't
town.
know if that has something to do with it.
She has a new address, I don't know, but Jeff doesn't, so
I don't know.
Anyway, and like I said, otherwise, I've been
The
there
old
35 years.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Meeting post, under the report, you'll see an updated meeting post for this calendar year. When I changed this date, I figured I'd check all the others and update them. So what you see is the meetings for the next several months. I'm anticipating we're not going to do July and August as we did the last couple of years. So this is what's posted at Town Hall, and it's the first Monday, so I don't anticipate any changes unless it's certain. Boston Globe article, I have a Boston Globe article here that you might like to read, I'll leave it at the desk, about senior groups struggle to attract forever young baby boomers, and it's about rebranding senior centers. And you might want to read it, it's very interesting. John, this is for you for Ray. It's too late to do it now, but they might want to consider it next year. I only got it last week, and
What's it about?
the deadline, it's a grant to do intergenerational programming. And we could team on it, we could do a team together.
Okay.
Maybe they'd be interested in it, unfortunately,
I'll bring it to
and we can address it earlier, because they just sent that last week, and the deadline's the 13th. So I think this year's gone.
Okay, thank you.
And St. Patrick's Day party is this Thursday. Lunch and a movie, men's breakfast, cake and a movie, laughter yoga, which is one of the seniors came to me about it. It's this physical thing that you do where you get your body to feel good again by laughing, as you well know, because you're
That's
laughing all the
all I
time.
do.
That's all you do. That's all you do. You and David yell. God.
Can I back you up for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Isn't it the women's breakfast this month?
Yes.
We did
Yes,
a men's
it is.
breakfast last, yeah,
We just
we
did
did the
men's,
men's last,
we just did men's, bro.
Okay.
we'll keep you honest.
Yeah.
That laughter yoga, that was on TV, they did a piece, I think, on Chronicle.
Yeah, they did it. They've been doing it in a lot of senior centers.
Yeah,
and
people were laughing like crazy.
Did you have it at the church? Somebody.
What?
We're
We're gonna have it.
You're gonna have it. Okay.
At the sociable seniors.
Okay. Okay, that's where it's gonna be then. So they're gonna be here, April 2nd or
As long as you're
something
not laughing
like
at each
that.
other.
And the Red Sox
No.
opening day party,
Yay.
April 9th, 1 p.m.
That's always fun.
Be
Love
there or
that.
be square. If we get rained out, I'll kill myself.
Popcorn and
Popcorn,
hot dogs. And
hot dogs, me throwing things at people.
Ice cream.
it's fun.
You looked up Foxes.
Oh, Foxwoods. First trip of the season, hopefully it won't get snowed out as it did last season. We had to switch it to another day.
Yeah.
All right, motion to accept the director's report?
Motion.
Second.
Makes it easier on the paperwork.
Thank you, Peter.
So the questions or discussion?
I
Here
do
is-
have to discuss one thing.
On the report, yeah, go ahead.
It's not on the report.
Oh, is it under old business, new business, that kind of
It's
stuff,
the-
or?
Well, it's old business. It's referring to one of our members who has sent in a resignation several times. Betty?
Oh, okay, let me just, for a minute,
Okay.
let's take the vote on the director's report, and then we'll get into that under old business, okay? Okay, so we had a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, old business, go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, we've discussed one of our members who is homebound and can no longer attend meetings, and she said she has sent in her letter of resignation several times, and you said we've never received it, and yet she said she has copies of the letter.
I have never received it.
She sent it to the selectmen or
Selectmen.
here?
She sent it to the both, I thought she
Yeah.
said,
I
I don't know.
have never received anything.
I'll ask her to give it to me and I'll deliver
Nothing has
it.
been sent to me.
She said, I don't understand it.
The only letter that I received in that regard was a resignation as treasurer. There was never a letter of resignation to leave the board.
That may be the confusion.
That, I think, is the
Well,
problem.
I don't know.
All right,
But
well,
I
if you
will
can,
bring
if
it
you
up
can
to-
get it, that'd be great.
I'll
I
be
think-
going to visit her in a few
Grace,
days.
I think perhaps if you explain, I need a letter of resignation from the board, as a member of the board. So, in other words, we needed 2 letters of resignation. She already sent one in for
Treasurer.
her, position as an officer.
Right.
But now I need one as a member.
I will tell her. I know she just insists that she knows she sent it in, so
I think she might be
she
thinking.
might
of
be
it.
confused.
All right, I'm sorry, I missed correspondence. Do we have any?
No.
Nothing, okay. All right. Old business.
Okay, the earmark grant. We're gonna somewhat isolate our spending to the durable goods specified in the budget, the microwave, convection oven, and other small appliances, cookware and kitchen utensils, bookcases, hands-free soap dispensers, and general office supply replacement items. There has been some issues with this grant. I'll tell you something, if I knew I was gonna have this many issues with it, I wouldn't have taken it. I wouldn't have taken the $10,000, because one of the issues is, and this was, the accounting department, told me that it's an unusual grant in that it gets reimbursed. So what happens is that I send them a warrant with an invoice, and the warrant that I sign on that, I send it to the accountants with a special form. They send it on to the state to be paid. The important line in this is, they send it on to the state to be paid.
To be paid.
That's the important line.
Okay.
And so I was rather flabbergasted when I walked into Walmart a few weeks ago to get a couple of items for here. I think it was the next 2 movies we were doing, and it wouldn't accept my credit card, my Walmart credit card from the town, because we had an outstanding bill, which of course was the bill that was, we were in. So what we're probably gonna do now, it just gets so confusing, is that I'm gonna submit the bill to them, they're gonna pay it and be reimbursed somehow. The accountants department
By the
is
state.
talking to the state about how this is gonna be done, because, you know, it's like, and I should add
It's government.
and also if that wasn't embarrassing enough, at least it was just Walmart, you know, it's sort of faceless, right? The caterer from Christmas wasn't paid either,
Oh, that's
who were in Taunton.
That was
So-
part of that, from the grant money as well? In general, bill paying by the town, have you found that to be better than it was?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let me just give you an example. Chinese New Year's was the 7th of February, thank you. I got reimbursed for the chow mein that I bought last Friday. That's a month.
Well, you know.
Now, I don't know, I assume we submitted it right away.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is too, is the ball game's coming up, and the ball game, we were supposed to use $900 of the grant for the ball game. You know, I might buy the hot dogs and freeze them, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I've gotta figure out how I'm gonna deal with it, because I just don't trust what's going on, and.
Hot dogs freeze well for whatever.
Yes,
it's worth.
yes.
But I mean,
So-
you know, I guess the fix to make sure that we paid our vendors quickly is not really working too well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was $48. I assure you, we didn't go without food any time during the month because of that $48. But nevertheless, forgetting me, these people who provide a service here, put on classes and so forth,
Well, the classes
shouldn't have to wait 30
The
days.
classes are under the revolving account, so that
okay.
moves more quickly. When it comes out of the town account, it's something different, but this is just, I've never dealt with something like this before, and it's both embarrassing, it's unfair, and it's, you know, like I said, if I had known this was gonna happen, I wouldn't have taken the damn grant.
I hear you.
So, thank
All
you for
right.
letting me vent.
No, hey, this is the place for it. Vinyl siding.
The vinyl siding postings, we sent information to Bob Iafredi that we had culled from, you've seen it before, we had culled from the various specifications that one of the possible potential contractors gave us. Bob then created these specifications, they were submitted to David Flaherty for publishing and posting, and the information was posted in the appropriate sites, including the Mass Central Register and Combis last week. The bids will be open on April 12th at 11 a.m. in the Selectman's office.
Do you know if we've received any yet?
No, he said we hadn't. He's not, you'll remember that, for those of you who weren't here, Cheryl, we had 3 local contractors we were hoping and interested in to apply. We know one of them probably will. The other 2, David was a little less sure about, because he doesn't think that they'll be interested in the prevailing wage issue with it. So we have to pay under state law prevailing wage to any contractors who are working with us, and so it tends to take some of the teeth out of it.
Well, it makes the cost that much higher.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
We have
on a the local contractors don't pay union wage. And they're, you know, they're certainly not about to join the carpenters union just for this one job. Okay. New business. All right, first of all, any other old business, anyone? No? How about the dumpster? That was something we talked about last month. Did you get a new dumpster?
No, they haven't gotten a new dumpster yet, because it got plowed in there, so they haven't put it in yet.
Okay, I didn't even notice that. All right, nothing? New business. Cheryl Bowman.
Okay, I would be interested in being on the COA board as an associate member. I'm very impressed with the work Ms. Mora does and the activities offered at the center. I paid her $5 to say that. I'd like to, I only paid Donna $3. I'd like to help in some way, so I'm applying for the associate member position. So we're going to need a vote on that, and I've written up a letter to go to Marie Smith today. Dear Mrs., in anticipation of you voting for Cheryl, dear Mrs. Smith and Selectmen, at its regularly scheduled meeting on March 11th, the Raynham Council on Aging voted to approve the addition of a new associate member, Cheryl S. Bowen, 150 Sherwood Lane. The COA requests the Selectmen approve this appointment. Thank you for your consideration.
Make the motion, Cheryl be accepted to the board.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Chair would like to say
Want me to
anything?
leave?
No, would you like to say
You decided
anything?
you don't want to, right? You want to tear this up, right?
No.
All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you. I always hate that phrase because, you know, the Titanic, they probably said the same thing.
Oh.
Oh,
Don't take that as an omen, really.
No.
Go ahead, Park and Rec.
Correct. Park and Recreation Cooperative Programs. Director Tim McRae is having the second bocce court done by Eagle Scouts, an Eagle Scout and his team. He's also looking to offer trips, to offer trips. Geez, I gotta stop drinking that water from the new cooler. Offer trips to have with the COA, and the possibility of the Eagle Scout doing another project, planting flowers and shrubs around the building. We do get them kind of wiped out with the plows and things, and we don't have any flowers that, I think they all got dug up when,
Oh, no, they'll come up.
no, some of the bulbs got
Jonquils?
dug up. I think the
Really?
skunks were having feasts last year because
Oh.
they're gone, and I found a lot of digging spots out there. Yeah, he's looking at, I think we talked about this before, they do a trip to see the Patriots in Miami,
Ooh.
and there's also
In
a
the past,
trip,
they've done that,
yeah, and we're looking at another trip to, oh God, what was, not the flower show, it was something similar to the flower
Newport
show.
Playhouse?
The Newport Playhouse, yeah, so they have a system in place to get buses.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that's why we're teaming up with them to do some
Next time you
things.
talk to him, you might mention, a number of years ago, we did a trip to New York to watch the Red Sox play the Yankees.
Oh, okay.
It was the last year that they were in the old stadium. It was
Oh.
pretty good. They, because we were all Boston fans, they split us up. Wouldn't let more than four Red Sox fans sit in one
Isn't that-
location.
Oh, that's
The
awful.
tickets, they came out, the tickets, she said, I'm sorry, we're not all in one place, we're all over the place.
It should be against
And
the
we were
law.
so far up,
Totally.
Eddie Murphy could have played Big Poppy's position, and we never would have known the difference. But nevertheless, it was nice to see Yankee Stadium and be there, especially in the last year. And boy, when you get in those high seats,
Yeah.
the incline is like this.
Scary.
You are
Oh, yeah.
worried when you walk down the stairs that you are going, if you tumble, you're gonna end up in center field, there's no question about it. But you might mention that to him, that was a pretty
Okay.
good trip. It was, again, a bus trip, and it, you know, wasn't all, it's not all that bad to get into New York.
And I'd like to mention that Babe Ruth's daughter died this
Yes.
past week.
Oh.
She was 102 years old, and she was a Red Sox fan.
All right.
Oh.
Remember that, you people out there.
They showed her on television this morning.
I didn't see that. Sorry. about
102. The SAVE program. The selectmen are placing an article on the May town meeting warrant to increase the amount of SAVE program participants' rates to match the state's minimum wage. This will be done in increments over the next few years until it meets the state's rate, which is, I think, $15 right now. Based on information from town treasurer collector Michael King, we are not mandated by a statute to do this. In the meantime, we edited the forms to read $10 per hour for 100 hours, the same as last year, but with a notation advising a change to $12 per hour for 83 hours could and would happen in late May. So we were hoping that this would be on the fall town meeting warrant, so it would be later in the year and really wouldn't affect
The budget.
people who are on right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the SAVE program?
It's the senior volunteer program.
Right, I signed up for, what's the participation rate in this?
It depends on what's available in the town departments.
Yeah, I signed up two years ago,
I signed
never,
up,
never got a
Chris.
call.
Yeah.
It depends on what's available. It has to be work that is not being done or won't be done, as you know,
Right.
by current staff, particularly union staff
Right.
done by the union.
Right.
So it depends on what's available.
A number of years ago, and you might attest to this, Cheryl, when we first did the voting in town hall for the early voting, there was a woman there who watched the ballot boxes.
There were several
Yeah,
people
yeah.
working there, yeah.
And they got paid through the SAVE program, if you would. I don't
And they
know
had-
who they were, but.
They had someone come in and shred all the ballots from the big election.
Oh, is that
All
right?
they did was sit there and put the ballot in the shredder all day long.
So it has been used, not as widely as you would think it
What are
would be
the
used, but.
requirements? There's no income requirements? I
No, it
understand.
isn't.
Okay.
Anybody qualifies to go on the program. What we learned a couple of years ago was that it can be, under these rates, $1,000 for one person in the household, or two people, $500 each, so a husband and wife, or a qualifying person, age 60 and over, two people in the household could be on it. It's the sole, well, of course, there is something that says, do you have any outstanding litigation against the town that you have to sign off on? And last year, for the first time, actually, that almost stopped the program dead several years ago when somebody did sue. And,
Do you have to be quarried?
no,
No?
Don't you have to pay real estate taxes isn't it to offset your real estate
it's
taxes?
to offset, but I believe, there's another tax too that it can cover.
Excise? It's the only other tax
No,
in
I
town.
think it's only property.
only property?
tax.
Oh,
I think
right.
so.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you don't actually get the money, they just reduce your
Right.
real
Right,
estate tax.
exactly. Which is-
But it's the sole, the sole way that the positions open up is based on departments. And I'll tell you, it's a lot better than it used to be. We have more people on it than we did before because the town departments just didn't use anybody. And now they use them in building, the treasurer's office, the clerk's office,
Police department.
no, there's nobody in the police right now.
Not now, I've been begging for.
But there's
over
been,
there,
cemetery and, forestry use somebody, Peter King's on it, as the town photographer, taking pictures of, events and things, and there's a gentleman who, has made, maps and brochures regarding the town, walking areas, the paths and the areas set aside in town for, nature walks. He's, done, a project on that. So, which is the most unusual project we had, and it led us to, think that maybe, he got that through conservation, that maybe we could think outside the box in doing things, because everything else has been clerical, except, the manual labor that was needed to do the cemetery and the forestry. But we're trying to think out of the box with it.
So
But-
what, 10, 15 people, 20 people?
Oh, not even that, maybe 8
8? Okay.
or 10, but it used to be we only had about 2.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
any other new business? Hearing none, anybody wanna talk about anything else related to Council on Aging? Everybody's happy with everything that's going on?
Yeah.
Good, then I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion? Of course.
Jim made a motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
All right, our regulars, hearing none discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.